Sai Ram, Shri Sai Satcharitra, chapter 5, page number 23, paragraph before the paragraphs. What are all the topics, subtopics, and the stories covered in chapter 5? Right. Now, chapter 5, it says, Baba's return with Chand Patil's marriage party. Welcomed and addressed as Sai. Contact with other saints. His attire and daily routine. The story of the Padukas. Wrestling bout with Mohiuddin Tamboli and change in life. Turning water into oil. The pseudo guru Jawahar Ali. We have quite a few topics, but quite a few subjects to cover in this chapter 5. Right? We start. Now, return with Chand Patil's marriage party. As hinted in the last chapter, I shall now describe first how Sai Baba returned to Shirdi after his disappearance. There lived in Ahmednagar district, that is Nizam state, in a village called Dhoop, a well-to-do Mohammedan gentleman by name Chand Patil. Right? While he was making a trip to Aurangabad, he lost his mare. For 2 long months, he made a diligent search, but could get no trace of the lost mare. After being disappeared, he returned from Aurangabad with the saddle on his back. After traveling 4 kos, he came on the way to a mango tree at the foot of which sat a fakir, a queer fellow. He had a cap on his head, wore kafni, that is a long robe, and had a satka under his arm. Satka is a short stick. And he was preparing to smoke a chillam. On seeing Chand Patil pass by, he called out to him and asked him to have a smoke and rest a little. Now, we have this first thing to understand as the historian and the author of Shri Sai Satcharitra, Shri Govinda Raghunatha Dhabolkar reaffirms and states, Baba returns to Shirdi. He has spent his boyhood in Shirdi. He has spent his boyhood in Shirdi for a few months or so. He leaves Shirdi and then he comes back. So it is his second coming to Shirdi. So it's not the first time he's coming. That is rested, right? Now, there is a place, there's a village. I have been to that village, very small village. It's called Dhoop Khed. Dhoop is the name of the village. Khed. Kheda means a village, right? Transliteration in Marathi. So Dhoop Kheda, there was a person called a Mohammedan gentleman called Chand Patil. And he was making his trip to Aurangabad. He lost his mare and then he looked around for 2 long months and he could not find it. So disappointed, he's traveling back. And after traveling for quite a distance, and he came on the way, and under the mango tree was sitting a fakir who had just prepared his chillam to light it and have a smoke. So he had a cap on his head. So whatever his appearance are, long robe, kafni and whatever, he was preparing his chillam to smoke. Now what happens here? We need to draw attention to some of the people who are self-professed, historians of Shirdi also, and who speak in a very belittling manner about our master as well as our path or whatever. Chand Patil is what Baba has been referred to in many occasions and by many people, mostly the spiritual masters, so called, and spiritual heads. I would call them idiots because Chand Patil was not Baba's name. Chand Patil was a person who was the head of Dhupkeda village, Dhupkeda in Aurangabad district, and he was the one who Baba first met during his second coming. That is when he comes back to Shirdi from wherever he was, that mysterious disappearance of Baba. So Chand Patil is the name of a person who was instrumental in identifying Baba under a tree, mango tree in the villages at the outskirts of Aurangabad. So that is not the name of Sri Sai Maharaj, like many of the fools and idiots refer it to as. Anyway, we move on. So Baba had a satka in his hand and he was wearing a kafni. There was a cap on his head. And he was all preparing to smoke the chilam, the pipe. On seeing Chand Patil pass by, he called out and said that, asked him to have a smoke with him and rest for a while. Right. The fakir asked him about the saddle. Chand Patil replied that it was his mare, which was lost some time back. It was of his mare, which was lost some time back. The fakir asked him to make search in the Nala close by. He went, and the wonder of wonders, he found the mare there. He thought that this fakir was not an ordinary man, but an awliya. Awliya is a great saint. He returned to the fakir with the mare, sorry, we'll stop at this. See, here what happens is Baba asks Chand Patil that what is this saddle about, though he knows what it is about. Baba asks, why are you carrying this? And the whole story has to be narrated by Chand Patil. And then he says where the mare is, the horse is. So all these things are just a, example, a light example of he who knows everything still inquires innocently. He expresses his ignorance. He very much knows where the mare is, or rather, he has drawn the mare to that place in no time. There are yogic siddhis and sadhanas wherein you can make things disappear from a place and make it appear in another place. So that those siddhis are not common, of course, but the masters of the masters do perform these kind of siddhis, do have these siddhis and do perform these kind of miracles. So Baba had drawn the horse to the Nala. Nala is a small stream flowing. Despite that, he pleads his ignorance and says that, come, where is it? What is this saddle for? Very jokingly. So we should not take our masters when they ask you some mundane questions, some, questions which are obvious, and yet they know it all. So when we think that, our guru doesn't know and he's ignorantly asking our questions, no, he's not. He knows. He knows the cause, he knows the question, he knows the answers. He has already got the solution to the worry also, but pretentious at times. So that is why these gurus and masters are called as Mayavis. Mayavis are the ones who will use Maya. We won't even think. What was the necessity for Baba to ask, why are you carrying the saddle? When he knows and when he has drawn the horse to the nearby Nala. I'll give you my own example. I wear a kada. And then once I was traveling out of Bangalore. Very distinctly, and this is the truth. And I have witnesses to prove. So when I was in a place called Trivandrum, I left my kada for the security checks in down south. These security personnel at the airports ask us to take out the kada of any metal. So I had to take it out and keep it for scanning. And whilst coming out, I forgot to wear it or I left it behind. So I came back to Bangalore and I was shocked. I was searching and then I realized I left it at the place where it went for scanning. And this is what has happened. And I'm not saying this just to, it's definitely not a figure of imagination for sure, because there are people who were with me when they came back. I had gone on a pilgrimage. So when I came and I was very fond of that, it was given by a Nihang in Amritsar. So I was very, very attached to that. And I just prayed to Baba and I said that, Baba, I just don't know, I want that. Before even calling the, in the security personnel in Trivandrum Airport. And I had checked my bag, my pouches and everything. There was no way anything could be there because I had really emptied it and turned it around. It was blank. It was completely empty. After 2 minutes, I just was about to, shrug that bag which I had carried. When I shrugged that bag, trust me, the kada fell from that bag right in front of everybody. Not just me, all my fellow, pilgrims who had come to Shabarimalai with me, they were all shocked, shell shocked. And this happened to me. And this is God's honest truth. So these kind of things, it's not just that it happened, then it happens now also. What I had lost, what I had left behind came to me when I prayed to Baba. So that is what he is, right? So we'll move on. The chilam was ready for being smoked, but two things were wanting. Fire to light the pipe and the water to wet the chappi, piece of cloth through which the smoke is drawn up. The fakir took his prong and thrust it forcibly into the ground, and out came a live ember, which he put on the pipe. Then he dashed the satka on the ground, from where water began to ooze. The chappy, whatever, was wet, made to get wet with that water. Then wrung around and wrapped around the pipe. Thus everything was being complete. The fakir smoked the chilam and then gave it also to Chand Patil. On seeing all this, Chand Patil was wonderstruck. He requested the fakir to come to his home and accept his hospitality. Right? There is nothing which is not planned. We unnecessarily go through anxieties. It is all a sequence of occurrences in our lives. We feel, oh my God, we get very anxious. We are faced with some realities and we feel so, vulnerable. We feel so restless. We feel so, oh my God, what do we do? Now, everything is staged. A master, a guru, who is in charge, in control of all the occurrences. His own life is just a story. Everything is prefixed. For example, now Baba disappears from Shirdi. What he does during those days where he is not traced or his life is not known. But we Saipanthis, of course, know. However, we will stick to Satcharitra here. Everything is planned. Chand Patil's mare was to be lost. Baba made that happen. Chand Patil had to search around. Baba made that happen. Disappointment in the heart of Chand Patil. His struggle, efforts, and everything that he goes through. Baba made that happen. His karmas are getting burnt. And finally, there is nothing to worry. Baba draws him. And Baba draws him and calls him to have a smoke. Relax. Take the metaphor of it. Guru calls and draws and just relax. Don't worry. And mischievous that the Guru is. He says, what is this, the saddle for? Like when we go to a Guru and Guru says, what is your problem? Not that he doesn't know. He knows it all. Yet he'll say, what is the problem? What do you want? Not that he doesn't know. Then he says, relax, sit, let's talk, let's sort it. Just, just correlate this whole episode with our lives. A master knows everything. A master comes with a master plan. He knows every single thing, what has happened, what is happening, what's going to happen. And he is the one who is the controller of everything that is happening. Chand Patil losing his horses, done by the Lord. He getting lost in the jungles, done by the Lord. He carrying the saddle of his life, struggles, and roaming around and being tired, Master has done. When he is about to give up, the Master pulls him. He appears. When his efforts are sincere, 2.5 months, 2 months, he has rigorously searched for the horse, but till such time that when he has completed all his efforts, then the Guru appears. He says, come. You are sincere in your efforts. I know. You've done everything that is possible by you. I know. I made sure that you do go through this. I know. Your horse was lost. You were lost in your life. I made sure. Your efforts were observed by me. When you give up, when you have nothing more that you can do, when you reach a point of helplessness, we are about to give up and go away, resign to your fate, Guru appears. Sincerity in our efforts and honesty in our efforts. Doing everything that is possible by us, not leaning on the miracles and the blessings of the Guru. We have done everything. Then at that point of time, when you lose every hope, Guru appears. Guru comes. That is the story of Chand Patil. He comforts you. Come, sit with me, have a smoke. It's all a metaphor. People take it literally. It's a metaphor. Come, sit. Don't worry. And the Guru, same Guru, the Mayavi that he is, he'll ask very innocent questions. What happened? Why are you carrying the burden, the saddle? Then he says, it is of my horses, which I have lost, my wants, my desires, on which I ride. I lost it all. So please, let me rest. Just looking at him, Lord says, come sit, have a smoke. Control on the elements. Everything that is in the world, on earth, the nature, Panchatattvas, the fire, the water, the air, the void, the earth. The earth, the water, the fire, the air, and the void. All the 5 elements in control of your Guru. He strikes the satka and comes the ember. And he hits in another place and there comes the water. All the elements are in his control. There is nothing which is not in his control, yet he is a fakir, a kafni, a cap on his head, just a jhola, sitting in the jungles, smoking a chilam, asking innocent question to the seeker. Right? These are the takeaways. He who is everything, he knows everything. He is the doer. No matter how much Chand Patil searches for, he doesn't get his horse, mare. But when he is drawn by the Guru, Everything is sorted. Now we go forward. Then Lord takes a puff of the chillum and gives it to his disciple or his the traveler Chand Patil. He smokes, and Chand Patil is a witness to everything. He the horse which was lost is found. He sees the control over the elements. Smiling young lad, a middle-aged man. He was around 23 when Chand Patil is 25 when Chand Patil finds Baba. So he is very surprised. He requested the fakir to come to his home and accept his hospitality. He realizes. He says, this person is not ordinary. He is an Aulia. Aulia is a great saint in Sufi tradition. So he said, because, for us, he's a yogi, he's an Avadhuta. The same thing is said in a different language. In Urdu, Aulia. There is no difference in the meaning. The difference is only in the language, right? We should not get that narrow-minded. However, next day he went to Patil's house and stayed there for some time. Patil was a village officer of Dhoop. Dhoop, Kheda. Even to this day, it's just a small village. When I went there about 10 years ago, I said, my Lord, my master walked on the soil of this village. I was taking the soil and then I was just, putting on my forehead, and people were like, what are you doing? I said, my Lord blessed you, your village, and people are so happy. They're very nice. Predominantly Muslim families there. It's a different feeling there altogether. He went to Patil's house and stayed there for some time. Patil was a head of the village, the administrative head. So village secretary is what we call. He was a village officer of Dhoop. His wife's brother-in-law, his son was to be married and the bride was from Shirdi. So Patil made preparations to start for Shirdi for the marriage. The fakir also accompanied the marriage party. The marriage went off without any hitch, and the party returned to Dhoop, except the fakir who stayed back in Shirdi and remained there forever. Many a times, many a situations, we feel, I was not destined to be there. I was not destined to meet such and such a person. I was not going to be, I didn't know why I went. I was drawn there. Everything is planned. There are no coincidences in life. There is nothing which is miracle. For us, we are the mandabuddhis, dimwits. So we call it as miracles, but the master plans everything. His reappearance in Shirdi has a nice background to this. They need a reason. Even when the divine descends, there always has to be a reason. There will always be a story. Just for we to understand and make it simple for us to comprehend. Baba leaves Shirdi. We know we have no, world doesn't have the clue about unknown years of Baba, though we Saipanthis know. He appears in the village. There the story begins. Actual story of Sri Sainath Maharaj of Shirdi begins, his second coming onwards, begins at that, in the jungles of Aurangabad. So we feel that, so many things at many occasions in our lives that I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know where. I just, happened to meet this person, happened to be in this place. So many things, but actually nothing happens. It's all planned. Everything is going to happen. Whatever has to happen will happen. There's nothing which we need to be surprised about, but fine. For the sake of fun, we can say that, things are miracles and things are happening to us. right? So Chand Patil's brother-in-law's son, Chand Patil did not have children. Chand Patil was a person who had no children, and he and his wife had raised their nephew as their own son. So, see the story, it's just a drama that the Mayavi that Baba is like. The girl happens to be from Shirdi, the bride, and the marriage party goes to Shirdi. And Patil made all the preparations, and the fakir also accompanied the marriage party. So nice to read that. And the marriage went off without any glitch or hitch. It's understandable. The party returned to Dhoop, except the fakir who stayed back in Shirdi and remained there forever, which we know, right? Thank you. Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram.